Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Ringmaster Jeffrey with Esports Circus's new show, The Freak Show. We are here at the Esports Business Summit at the MGM Conference Center in Las Vegas. Welcome back. And we have another interview with a good friend, Patrick from PureLink. Patrick is a seasoned broadcaster and is here doing some things. What is PureLink, Patrick?
Well, I'm here on multiple facets. PureLink is a manufacturer that's been around since 2002. They pretty much got digital before the rest of the world. While everybody was still doing things with RGB and standard analog video.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant guy by the name of Minsu Park. Was one of the last eyes-on engineers that got to see what Intel was doing as they developed the HDMI format. And as he looked at it and tried to figure out what's this HDCP thing, what's going on with the keys, they were kind of going, well, that way you can't, everything's copyright protected and it won't play. And he goes, well, what happens when I'm doing a 10 by 10 matrix or something, elaborate? And they were looking at him going, what would you want to do that for? This is to watch Shrek in a living room. Well, the reality is the amount of video that's being done in public places, sports arenas, et cetera, is overwhelming. So he at that point, he saw an opportunity to jump into video, be well ahead of the curve, and he was waiting there ready, and ended up doing things like he invented the the EDID cube. If you remember that, the reader.
I do remember that.
Yeah, he actually didn't patent it, but he shared it with everybody. But the thing was, it was to solve a problem because things weren't talking without having to figure out what the settings were, and this reads it and replicates it and puts it on the switch, and everything's talking and happy.
That's very cool. I know he got his start doing a lot of stuff with. He went into Apple.
Yeah.
And then and then he went. He had huge contracts with the military. Right?
Well, with the government. We normally you'll find the PureLink product in places where things are mission critical, where failure is not an option, kind of thing. I've got something where I'm running a situation room, or I'm at the front end of a bank at the security division, or I am at a hospital involved in telemedicine. So somebody could be sitting in Cedars-Sinai in LA doing something with somebody at the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio, and the quality of the picture and everything matters.
Absolutely.
The thing about PureLink is they have that esoterica sixth sense of realizing that they're the geek squad. They're doing things that most people aren't paying attention to. So oddly enough, it kind of cantilevered right into the esports market.
Right.
Because there's some serious tech people here.
Right.
They want things that are instant, so they want what used to be known to us as our no blink switching. Right. But the latency could be a nightmare in a video game. Well, we realized that as a video company, a lot of that is handled right at the computer level. But as it branches out into these small arenas and venues where people are actually watching, where there's lots of, there's money involved and people are paying for seats, et cetera, we realized that having the video transported from where the main sources are, be it cameras, be it the computer-generated information, or things that are being done for the digital signage, et cetera, within the arena, it all has to move really fast enough that it's under, I'd say, 10 milliseconds, so that when somebody's looking at an event that's going on, they're watching the players play, and they go and look at the scoreboard or something, you are actually not seeing any latency whatsoever.
Okay. So what are you here at the Esports Business Summit trying to accomplish? You just poking your nose around?
Well, no, I'm here with actually we're showing with a company called Horizon AV.
Horizon, yeah.
And Josh Kell, who is the head of that company, we're working together because he's one of the early adapters / pioneers as far as venues are concerned. Now, there are other people out there, so I'm not saying he's the only one. He just, he's a little younger than us, which makes him much more spry and adventurous to jump into it.
Well, a lot of people in this industry are younger than us.
At the same time, I come from the broadcast background, working for people such as Compass Media Networks,
Yeah.
which was Westwood One. I have a radio background, more of a radio background, because I got a great face for it. And
Well, you can't say that much anymore because most of the radio DJs
they're streaming.
They have cameras. I
Yeah.
know, Leo Laporte and Joe Rogan, and you look at everybody who's getting more and more popular. They're all putting cameras in the studio.
Right.
In the studios.
Right.
So can't say your face for radio anymore.
No, that's true. Okay, well, that said, what's interesting is I get to see it with a different set of eyes too, because I've come out of that NCAA, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, NFL set of
Right.
eyes, where I see how they address that market. And what's funny, you and I talked briefly before we went on camera here, is the fact that people don't realize how big gaming is getting. I should say those of us over X age, you pick the age, but there are going to be more people this year watching the international championship of esports
Yeah.
than will be watching the Super Bowl worldwide.
Well,
That's
the
a
thing is that-
powerful number.
Yeah, and it's even bigger than that because if you even look percentagely wise, so football is pretty much an American market product,
Right.
whereas esports is a global product. So esports, esports United States wise still has a long way to go to beat football or baseball.
Okay. Well, let me use it.
But worldwide, it definitely beats it.
Let me use an international number then. It will outdraw the World Cup.
It will definitely.
So that on the international level, I mean, I'm a soccer nut, so I'm one of those geeks that watches all the World
Yeah.
Cup. But I'm a rarity as far as American adults are concerned.
Yeah. Well, and FIVA's actually very concerned about that. FIVA had a couple of things that they published where they're actually talking about esports in that they're trying to knock it off. They're trying to fight against it because they're coming up against people who are not going to the FIVA stadiums, and instead going to esports stadiums.
Right.
And people who are watching the World Cup or Manchester United or whoever they cheer for are now watching esports teams, and so they're getting better, bigger, and better play.
Well,
So,
where I come from, I'm from Philadelphia. People are very excited for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's a lot of universities that have adopted the esports early.
there's over 300. There's almost 350, or a little over 350 teams right now,
And-
colleges and learning institutions that have esports teams.
And Philadelphia, luckily, has enough guys that are wise enough, like Ryan Howard is part of an
Yeah.
angel group, if you will, venture capitalists that are investing into this in the Northeast corridor. And what we're finding is teams are actually starting in the Philadelphia area to the point where Comcast is involved. Philadelphia is now going to be building, I believe don't hold me to the number, but I think it's 3,800 seat competitive esports arena.
Yeah.
That it's not going to be off in some obscure area. If you've ever been to Philadelphia, it's very unique because we have the Wells Fargo Center where the Sixers and Flyers play. We have Lincoln Financial Field, which is right across the street. Right across the street from that is the Citizens Bank Park. So everything's right there. So the natural place to put it is where the old Spectrum in Philly was, which is right kind of cat-a-corner from Lincoln Financial, and it just works out perfect because now you're bringing yet another high seating venue product into that part of South Philly, as well as the Xfinity Live, which is a place where you can go. There's bars you can party before you go to the event.
Yeah.
Heck, we've even got a casino. So it's a really unique area, but to see the excitement that's already building in the Philadelphia area in esports because of that is kind of substantial. It's not like it's.
That's why we're getting in this business. That's why my partner Don and I, I'm a broadcast engineer 30 years, and I've been building a lot of these studios and these esports places, and I said, this is a growing industry. This is where it's going to be. We're a financially gold mine industry, and I looked at it and I says, where can we make the best impact? Where can we impact the best and give back to the best and help out this industry grow. And so we looked at it a lot, and we concentrated our focuses on the collegiate and
Right.
amateur markets, collegiate and high school area. So I think that is the next dawn of esports is going to be in the education markets, because that's where everybody is kind of focusing. There's so much growth in there. There's 5,700 institutions in the United States, and there's only 350 schools having things. And there's a lot of the Pac-10 that are starting teams. So it's growing exponentially.
A lot of Division III schools, a lot of junior colleges.
Yeah. So
what's fascinating is Horizon is part of a couple things that are happening in New Jersey with Rutgers, Stockton State College, and things like that.
Yeah.
They actually had a very interesting thing occur where they had Stockton College was going to play this mystery team, and what they didn't know is the mystery team was actually a New Jersey middle school team of players. I'm sorry, I forget the game that they played. And truth be told, I found out today, because I actually asked, well, what happened? Last time I saw you, you were telling me you were all excited about this. And he said, well, basically they got the middle school kids got annihilated. But they turned a negative into a positive in the sense that then they split up where it was teams of half college, half middle school. And then they got cathartic and they all started to play together. And on all levels, it was a really great event as far as, it's tough coming in as a gamer and getting your butt kicked. But
well, yes and no. I mean, it's what happens, and you you learn from it and you expand upon it, and you grow from it, and that's what they do. I mean, they say this is a young kid spot, but I seen most of the pro players are not really that as young. They started young, but unless you have to be a pro player, you really have to have 10 years seasoned experience.
I thought that, but Darius, the MMA fighter, he's a national world champ, and he's in there and he's fighting for stream time. He's like, as much as he's a player in the MMA wrestling world, he's a gamer, and he happens to be the lunch guest here today.
Yeah.
I was just listening to him go, that's outstanding, and of course the natural question that he was asked by the ESPN host was, how did you get into gaming? He said, well, think about it. I'm in a sport that's about lightning fast reflexes. Mm-hmm. It's about keeping my mind alert. Mm-hmm. What better way to do it than with these games that I started playing?
Yeah.
So the first thing that, I'll be the first to tell you, because I grew up when Atari hit, or Pong. Pong was big when I hit, right? We've come so far from that, but early on, parents used to think that a kid or somebody that's sitting playing video games all the time is somewhat sloth, if you would. He's lazy. That's not the case at all. Now it's almost, wow, this person's achieving a level of consciousness that allows them to do other things at a high rate of speed. They're thinking a lot faster. So where I want to say in the 80s, 90s, before the millennium, if you would, people would have said, well, that's just a hobby that's, not conducive to moving on and doing something educational. Now you're hearing the exact opposite about it.
Yeah. Well, that's very, very cool. Well, thank you for being part of my show.
Pleasure's mine. This is a rare occasion for me to sit in the line of greatness here.
That's it. Well,
I made the freak show.
You made the freak show. You made the freak show here at the MGM Exhibition Hall at the Esports Business Summit, and we're glad to have you on the Freak Show. Thank you for joining me. I'm your ringmaster, Jeffrey, and we hope you'll join us. If you want more information on Esports Circus, go to our website, esportscircus.com. That's esportscircus.com, or give us a call at 800-287-5095. This is Ringmaster Jeffrey saying we'll see you later next interview.